Hello. Long time no see on this channel anyways. I thought since I ran across some of my old videos about doing keto that I would like to come to you and give you an update that's 6 years overdue. My last video where I kind of was talking about my keto journey was posted on January 3rd, 2018, just shy of 1 year of doing keto. And now it's June 12th, I think. June 12th, 2024. 6 years on, plus some change. Well, what's happened since then? A lot has happened actually since then, and all of it has been what it is. Some of it was great, some of it was amazing, some of it was good, and some of it wasn't. But what hasn't changed is I'm still keto. In a lot of ways, I'm closer to ketovore, or even closer to carnivore, but mostly ketovore, which means mostly I'm eating animal products and a little bit of vegetable here and there. I don't even eat the fruits currently, except on very rare occasions. I was doing keto ice cream regularly, and I was getting creep going on because I was eating the keto treats. And what I determined was that it was probably not the best idea. Oops, let's see if we can't get this to stay up. There we go. It wasn't the best idea to be doing all of the keto treats because they were making my weight go back up. So the last time I did a video chronicling my journey, I was about 170, somewhere between 170 and 175 pounds. And I'm still in that range, although I'm closer to 170 for the most part right now, which is pretty good considering I've been doing this keto thing for over 7 years now, which I find hard to believe too. I've never strayed from being keto. Like I said, I did eat more of the keto approved treats than I probably should have, but they were all within the keto lifestyle, with the exception of counting net carbs instead of actual carbs, which is still part of the keto lifestyle, but even so, I wasn't counting carbs. I was being rather loose with them, especially during times of high stress. So 2020 was a difficult year. I was actually heading into becoming carnivore during the beginning of the pandemic, and then my sister in mid-April went into the hospital, and she ended up on a ventilator for 5 days. Did not look like she was going to make it. It was pretty intense. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to try that carnivore thing now. We're just going to eat our keto ice cream, which was Rebel. Very delicious. Good stuff. But if you eat too much, it's still going to help you put that weight back on. I think twice I went up close to 200 pounds again. And, and I always got back down to about where I am right now. I seem to be kind of at a stuck point, which I would like to get through. And so I'm making some attempts to make some other changes to see if I can't break this long stall that I've been on. I'm starting to get more regular exercise, including strength training, because I know for a fact that building muscle helps burn fat and calories as well. And so I'm just inviting you back to join me on this journey. I plan on being more regular, like once a week, coming and talking to you about things. I've started some keto chow shakes, so I'll kind of give you an idea of my taste tests. So far I'm liking them all. Liking them all a lot. There's one that's just, all right, it's totally doable. I actually would have thought that I would have been all over pina colada, because I love pineapple and haven't had pineapple in like forever. And so that pineapple flavor, it was a bit light on the flavor, which is why I wasn't as happy with it as I would have liked to have been. But maybe if I do it as ice cream, it'll be better, or maybe if I do it in another way, I'll like it even better. I don't know. But I am exploring a lot of their flavors, including some of their savory flavors, and seeing how that does. I'm also doing Pilates regularly. Let's see what else happened. So, okay, my sister survived COVID, thank God. Actually, her doctors kind of think of her as a miracle, because not only did she survive COVID with her double pneumonia, she actually has very little damage to her lungs and doesn't need to be on oxygen, shockingly, which was, yay, a good thing. My mother passed in 2021. I had 2 aunts pass between 2020 and 2021. My grandfather passed in 2020. And none of those were due to COVID. They were all from other, one was cancer, one was natural causes, and my mother was natural causes as well. And then one was just, she'd been suffering from a lot of things for a long time, and it just finally caught up with her. So in 2020, I also met a man that would become my husband in 2022. And that was good. He was good to me. I really needed that in my life, and so did he. Unfortunately, in 2023, he got sick. Actually, in 2022, he got sick. Was in the hospital for a little over 2 months, crossing over into 2023. And then early in 2023, he passed. That was hard. I stayed keto through all of it. Yeah, I was eating ice cream once a day. Not as bad as when my sister was in the ICU. That was 2 pints a day. Don't recommend it. It's definitely not going to help with maintaining your weight loss, or even just having some weight loss. But otherwise, you know, I was staying keto, and I was maintaining under 200 pounds at least. And throughout, I'd say most of the time that I've been away from you guys, I have maintained around the 170 to 180 mark fairly good. Occasionally some of my smaller clothes weren't fitting, and that would be like, oh, whoops, okay, we need to get back on it. And then I would make other changes and get right back down to this 170 pound mark, which, I don't know, so far it's just, I have dipped below it a couple of times by like a couple of pounds. So I know it's possible, but I would like to at least lose 30 more pounds. And, you know, I think I would be totally still within a very good, healthy range if I lost, let's see, I said 30. So if I lost 50 pounds still in total, that would put my weight loss around 110 pounds, which would put me in the perfect zone for my BMI. But I would be perfectly much more content if I were in the 140 or less range, which again is another 30 pounds from where I'm at now, which I think is doable. I just need to get back on things. I'm starting to track again. I'm actually measuring my ketones with a blood ketone meter, and measuring my blood glucose, and I certainly can bring those numbers to you if you find that valuable as well. Let's see, one day I'm going to be doing 3 strawberry flavored keto shakes and trying them. So one of them is natural strawberry, which is flavored with monk fruit. One of them is just the original strawberry, and then the other one is strawberry cream. So we'll see which one I like best. I have a feeling it's going to be the strawberry cream, but until we try, I don't know. Let's see, I had caramel toffee today and pina colada, and the caramel toffee was absolutely delish. Oh. If you like Heath bars, that's the thing. Delicious and nutritious. Covers replacing an entire meal. The way I cook is very different now too. I've not been doing a lot of keto replacement meals. I did the trials of cauliflower mashed potatoes, cauliflower rice, cauliflower pizza crust. I didn't like cauliflower to begin with, so it's probably no shocker I didn't really like any of those replacement meals. But people keep coming and talking to me and saying, "Hey, please help me. I'm going keto and I need advice because I need to know what I can do so that I still have some of those comfort foods and things like that." So locally, I'm going to be teaching some keto classes, and some of them are going to be cooking classes for those replacement meals. The ones that I have found are very palatable. Completely doable in my book. And I'm finding some that are even carnivore based. So the first class that we're looking at doing is the 23rd of January, and it is going to be carnivore mac and cheese based off of well, not even based off of, it's Chris Cooking Nashville's recipe. We're going to be doing it, we're going to be trying it, so people can see if they like it, see if that's something they would want to make regularly, semi-regularly, before they invest in a large thing of egg whites, powder, or the beef gelatin and things like that, because there's all kinds of different recipes that are using those ingredients. And when you're using them a lot, you definitely want to buy them in bulk, which is a hefty expense out the gate. But even buying it in smaller quantities is not ideal, really. So that's the one thing I want to, show people is that, it's something that they will probably like, and they will know for sure if they like it when they try it. So that's, I've already run the mac and cheese by a few people, and it's actually good. Very, very reminiscent of macaroni and cheese, the, kind you used to get in a box with the powdered cheese. Well, this has real cheese and real cream for the cheese sauce. And the texture is somewhat similar to what you would expect out of a box macaroni. It tastes a little bit different, but it does have some of that feeling of taste as well. And of course, it's not elbow-shaped noodles. It's like about the same length and about the same width, but a little square, basically. Oh, sorry. My allergies, bad allergies right now. Okay, so those are some of the things that I'm doing, and I just wanted to let you know that those are going on here locally. If there's enough interest, we'll even put together, bi-weekly, weekly kind of support meetings where you can come and tell us what your victories are, whether they're scale victories or non-scale victories. You can bring your challenges and we can help you troubleshoot them. I've got, I would say, probably 8 years of training on this. I've done a lot of research on keto and carnivore, and so I have a lot of knowledge base to come from to help with things. Obviously, the biggest one that people, usually ask is they're just starting and they get the keto flu, and I always tell them, take a shot of pickle juice. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, trust me. Drink some pickle juice. And the vast majority of the time, it just makes all the difference in the world. And that's because you're lacking those electrolytes, because especially in those first stages of ketosis, you're releasing a lot of fluids from your body, and that is taking the electrolytes out of your body, and that's what's causing that keto flu. And pickle juice is an easy way that most people have already sitting there in their fridge to get those electrolytes replaced. Now, and the other thing is, there's other ways of getting your electrolytes into, especially if you haven't started your keto journey yet and are planning on doing that, but you're doing it in a way that is actually a designed plan, where you're researching ahead of time and knowing that you are going to need potentially electrolyte replacements in the beginning. I'm still doing electrolyte replacements because I do still get muscle cramps now and again. So I'm definitely, currently I'm getting my electrolyte replacements through Salty, which is a part of the Keto Chow brand. So I drink 1 to 2 bottles of water with the salty powder in it, which gives me a nice dose of salt, potassium, and magnesium. And that is definitely helping a lot with those cramps and preventing them from becoming real bad, as well as preventing them entirely. So those are some of the things that have been going on. Oh, I got an air fryer and I love it. I make my own chicken wings, and we can talk about those and show you how I do those. I make chaffles, all these things that I was like, so I did all of the replacement foods in the beginning. I did lasagna with the dehydrated zucchini as my noodle, which actually is pretty decent the way I do it. I'm not a big fan of zucchini, but because it's dehydrated and I don't rehydrate it, it's partially rehydrated after it cooks. And that texture and taste I can totally eat. Whereas if it were just cooked and not dehydrated, I don't like that texture and taste from zucchini. But there is now carnivore noodles that you can use for lasagna. So that'll be another thing I'm going to try at some point. So in between doing all of that and where I am now, where I'm starting to incorporate some of that back into my diet, I was pretty much just eating meat and some vegetables. So if I went out to eat, it was usually Mexican, and it was fajitas if it was Mexican. And it was like burgers without buns if it was, you know, all American. I could do Reubens without the bread. You know, there was a lot of things I could do. Of course, steak, and just plain making my own hamburgers and meatloaves without all of the carb stuff that normally gets added into those. And you know, just chicken. So I get a rotisserie chicken and have that. Or cooking my chicken legs and chicken thighs, because those are delicious, and roasts. I love my roast. And then I kept going back and forth between making my own sugar-free ketchup and just saying screw it and using the Heinz, which was pretty much for the most of this, the last 8 years was screw it, I'm using the Heinz. Mostly because of the effort of making the ketchup. But it wasn't a horrible effort. It just was more effort than buying and opening a bottle of Heinz. And so when I ran out, I had to go make more, and it was just a bit of a pain. And at the time, I just didn't want to take the time and effort to make it. But now I don't use ketchup at all, which is unheard of in my family. I mean, used to be we'd go visit some of our cousins up in Oregon City, and they'd serve dinner, and we'd look around and say, do you have any ketchup? And they would go, oh, it's the Barnes girls. Well, I better get the ketchup out of the fridge. And we get that from both our father and our mother. They were both ketchup addicts. Yep, ketchup went on just about everything, including things I wouldn't put ketchup on. Both my mom and my dad put ketchup on their scrambled eggs. Gross. Well, to me that's gross. I know lots of people it's not, but to me that was gross. My dad would put it on his beans, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. There's still things I miss, and there's some things that I'm never going to be able to replace, in my opinion. And there's things I don't need to replace, because replacing them makes me want that taste more, and that could lead to eating more than I should and things like that. So, there's a lot that's happened in the last, like I said, 6+ years. In 2023, my husband did pass. That's one thing I forgot to say. And after that, I still was able to stay keto, and went back to, like I said, having ice cream while he was sick, and for a while after he passed. But I'm now back to, I don't have the keto ice cream at all, except ones that I make now myself, which are totally keto compliant and not going to, there's no net carbs or major carbs to deal with. It's just keto. It's eggs, butter, cream cheese, and that's where most of the carbs come from, is the cream cheese, and a little bit of sugar-free sweetener syrups like the skinny syrups, Tirani, or the other one that starts with a D, I think. Da Vinci? Da Vinci, yeah. Those are the three ones that I've found that I like. But even that, because of the sweetness, I try not have it too often. But I do have some in the freezer ready to be creamed up on my Ninja Creamy. So I'm living in a different place, and I don't have access to all the kitchen stuff I used to have. So things are a little bit more complicated there. So I'm still trying to stay fairly simple in my cooking. My eldest daughter and my granddaughters and their stepfather moved to Oregon with me in 2021. Yes, 2021. And my oldest granddaughter got diagnosed with prediabetes. She's a pre-diabetic. And so we're working on getting her eating more keto foods and things like that. That's one of the reasons that I'm exploring with these types of recipes now, to replace those things again, because for her it's going to be very important to replace those comfort foods, because she's not in a place intellectually and maturity wise to want to make those decisions for other reasons than it tastes good. You know, she's not going to eat stuff that doesn't taste right to her or good to her. And she's the one that didn't like the carnivore macaroni and cheese, mostly because she's just not a big fan of cheese. And even though it's not cheesy, it was more cheesy, and she wasn't a fan of the texture. But we will keep trying, and they definitely, both of my granddaughters loved the chaffles, and the same batter I made pancakes out of, and they both loved those. Totally carnivore, except for the sweetener, because I did use sweetened syrup because I made breakfast instead of savory waffles, which hopefully that'll be the next thing I share with them. I'm going to use the Chris Cooking Nashville carnivore mashed potatoes recipe. That's really the next big one that I'm going to try with the girls. And then there's just others. I mean, he does rice, he does potato salad, and I'm just like, well, you know, I wouldn't mind having some of these now and again. Obviously, I don't want to spend the time making them on a regular basis for myself personally, because it's just not, I mean, I'm still very happy with just eating some meat. Especially now that I have gotten rid of my ketchup habit. That was a bad habit. That definitely did not help. I also got rid of, well, mostly I had a diet soda habit. Diet Mountain Dew was my poison of choice. And I got down to where it was like at 6 to 12 ounces of Diet Dew a day. I was cutting it with sparkling water. And now I may have 6 ounces in a week or two, you know. And I think it's once I've gone through my current supply, I'm probably not even going to do that anymore. But for a while, that was what was getting me through, because I don't like plain water still. I like a little more variety than that. Although I had plain water with my dinner last night at Buffalo Wild Wings, meeting with a friend, so it's doable. It happens. Okay. All right, let me see. Is there anything else that I need to share right now? I'm thinking probably not. There will be other things that come up, and I will, like I said, you know, start coming and visiting with you regularly, at least once a week, and just keep you updated of my progress, what I'm doing, let you know how the classes are going. At some point, if that's something you guys want, I can offer them online very easily through, you know, private Facebook groups and things like that. I can absolutely offer the classes, whether it's the cooking or just the keto or the support. You know, can all be done in a variety of ways. And if that's something that you guys want, we can make that happen with the online audience as well. I'll be sharing my thoughts and views on other keto products as I, start using them or, have used in the past, and things that come out new, because they're always coming out with new stuff. Like for a long time, I was using the Perfect Keto Collagen because I really love the cinnamon toast crunch flavor, and it does beautiful things for my hair and nails. Which now I'm just using plain collagen. It's a lot cheaper, but I'm flavoring with other things instead of the pre-flavored stuff. So I'm using the Vital Protein peptide collagens, I think. Anyways, or collagen peptides, let me get it correct. So there's just all kinds of things. And of course, I would love to hear your questions so that I can answer your questions as well. This morning I weighed 171.5 pounds. My fasting blood sugar was 91. And my ketones were 0.4 before I had my first official meal of the day. For a long time I was doing 3 meals a day. Now I'm doing 2 to 3 meals a day, so I'm looking at going back to that fasting where you are eating during a shortened time window again, to see if that's going to help with this new calculating my macros and everything, and making sure I'm sort of meeting certain points. The thing is, when you first start keto, it's easy to lose a lot of weight. I lost that first 60 pounds in 6 months. That's how easy it was. But once you get closer to your goal weight, it takes more effort, and it takes more focus and concentration on what you're actually putting in your body. It's no longer just, easy street to lose weight at that point when you get a lot closer to your goal weight. As I said, I'm feeling like I need to add more exercise in, build some muscle, which is going to help burn that fat as well. And I'm just exploring some different things. I would love to have you come along for the ride. Have a great day.